Week 17. Day 113, on a lack of time. Instead of saying I don't have time, try saying it's not a priority, and see how that feels. Laura Vanderkam. I don't have time has to be the biggest and most common lie people tell themselves daily. It's never about a lack of time, because it's you who controls how you spend it, and you can always forego one thing in favor of another. Telling yourself that you don't have time to exercise means that nothing that you have in your schedule is less important than your health. With all due respect, I doubt that you, or anyone else, for that matter, do super important things 24/7 and that there's not even a single low-value activity in your routine that you could easily eliminate to make time for exercise. I strongly suggest eliminating the phrase "I don't have time" from your vocabulary. People repeat it so often and so freely that it only serves as a convenient excuse, and self-disciplined individuals shouldn't make any excuses. The next time you want to claim that you don't have time, tell yourself instead that it's not your priority. Now consider what that means for you. If exercise, and subsequently, your own health, isn't your priority, then what is? If you don't have time to attend your child's first play but still work overtime even though you don't have to, then what is more important? If you're too busy to read books, then what do you prioritize over education if you still spend time watching TV? Day 114, on fulfilling your own standards. It's far better when doing good work is sufficient. In other words, the less attached we are to outcomes, the better. When fulfilling our own standards is what fills us with pride and self-respect. When the effort, not the results, good or bad, is enough. Ryan Holiday. When your motivation depends on the results of your labor, it poses a big challenge. If the results are slow to come, you'll most likely give up well before you see your efforts bear fruit. When you set new goals, think not only of the results you want to achieve, but also your own standards that you want to fulfill. While you're waiting for the results, draw inspiration from your efforts to do your best. Even if the results don't materialize for this particular goal, in itself this appreciation of your own efforts will help you to build a disciplined work ethic that will benefit your entire life. For example, for me as a writer, I know when my writing is up to my standards and I always strive to make every book better than the one before. Even if a book I consider to be my best work turns out to be a commercial flop, as has already happened a couple of times, it doesn't discourage me from writing new books. I know that I fulfilled my own standards and did my best. If I were motivated only by the results for each new release, I would have given up a long time ago. Do you know what your standards are and do you strive to fulfill them, even when there's no hope for gratification in the foreseeable future? Day 115, on the cost of indulgence. The cost of a thing is the amount of what I call life which is required to be exchanged for it, immediately or in the long run. Henry David Thoreau. When succumbing to a temptation, or after having done so, when you're analyzing what you did to avoid making similar mistakes in the future, think of the entire cost of your indulgence, both now and in the long run. This delicious cake? Right now, it can deliver a sugar rush and make you feel happy as it hits your taste buds. However, it's also additional calories that you probably don't need and will need to burn off. In the long term, this one cake alone can lead to another, and yet another delicious cake, resulting in gaining more weight, and then requiring even more time to lose it again. And what do you exchange for this indulgence today? Your life. The time that you have here on earth to do something more exciting and fulfilling than eating a cake. Is it really worth it? Are you fine with the fact that an indulgence today can rob you of weeks or months of your life? Day 116, on taking the low road. The problem with making an extrinsic reward the only destination that matters is that some people will choose the quickest route there, even if it means taking the low road. Daniel Pink. Being obsessed about the outcome can help you achieve it more quickly, but it carries the risk of achieving unsustainable results, or worse, ruining your life in the process by taking the low road. For example, Consider a person who wants to build a successful business. Their end goal, making $1 million, is more important than anything else. They don't care about the why or how, it's only money that counts. Whenever there's an opportunity to make money, even if it's unethical, they'll take it. After all, the end justifies the means, right? Taking the low road is yet another temptation you must battle on your journey toward success. There's no glory in building a business the unethical way, ruining your body with an unsustainable, unhealthy diet just to be slim, or ruining your body forever by taking steroids and other unsafe medications just to become more muscular. One way to prevent this from happening is to always think of something bigger than an extrinsic reward as a source of motivation. Think how working on your goal, not merely reaching it, can improve you as a person. How much fun it can be or how much meaning it can give to your life. Focus on those internal rewards in the first place, and you'll greatly reduce the risk of giving in to the temptation of taking the low road. Day 117, Undressing New Things and Old Habits. Whether selling a new song, a new food, or a new crib, the lesson is the same. If you dress a new something in old habits, it's easier for the public to accept it. Charles Duhigg. You'll find it easier to change your current negative habits if you make your new, positive habits seem similar to your original, disempowering patterns. For example, if you're a huge fan of potatoes, more specifically, French fries, and now your diet forces you to give them up, it might prove to be too big of a challenge for you to eliminate them just like that. What if you allowed yourself to eat potatoes, but in a healthier form? Instead of eating French fries, you could eat baked potatoes that were sliced in a similar way as your beloved fries. It's an improvement to your diet, it gives you some positive momentum, and yet it shouldn't cost you that much in terms of willpower. If you want to start jogging and you're a fan of listening to podcasts, why not tell yourself that you're going to listen to some podcasts and in the meantime, move a little? It doesn't sound like such a big, difficult change, does it? Whenever you can, find a way to link a new change or make it as similar as possible, in appearance, not consequences, to your previous negative habit. That way, it will more easily become a permanent routine in your life. Day 118, On Free Things. Most transactions have an upside and a downside, but when something is free, we forget the downside. Free gives us such an emotional charge that we perceive what is being offered as immensely more valuable than it really is. Why? Because humans are intrinsically afraid of loss. The real allure of free is tied to this fear. Dan Ariely. Free is the ultimate marketing method, and it's also the one that can do the greatest damage to your resolutions, primarily those of the financial and fitness kind. From now on, whenever you see that something is free and you want to act on it, ask yourself whether you really need it. If you were to pay for it, would you still want it, or do you want it simply because you don't want to miss out on a freebie? The first practical application is for people who are on a diet and gorge on food whenever they find themselves at a party with free snacks. What are you gaining by eating all this food, and what are you losing? Unless food is scarce in your world, and it probably isn't if you're on a diet, the only thing that you're gaining is avoiding the fear of missing out. And what are you losing? Your dream, your hard work until now, and possibly your future. Are the free snacks worth it? The second application is for people who want to exert more self-control when it comes to their finances. When shopping, if there's a deal where you can get one thing for free, ask yourself whether you'd pay for this thing if it weren't offered for free and if you're really going to have a use for it. If not, what's so special about this deal? It might be a deal to someone who would buy the thing on sale anyway, but it isn't for you. There's nothing you're losing out on if you don't purchase something that has no use for you. And if you do buy it, you're losing a lot: your money, space in your house, time needed to maintain it, etc. Day 119, On Hatching the Egg. We shall sooner have the fowl by hatching the egg than by smashing it. Abraham Lincoln. In today's world of abundance, there's always the next hot thing, a new miracle solution, a cure for it all. It's no wonder that so many people lack the self-discipline to stick to one thing and constantly jump from one thing to another, deluding themselves that the new thing will surely be better than the one they have now. If we think of pursuing your goals as being in the business of breeding chickens, how big will your fowl empire get if you constantly smash all of the eggs you have, thinking that those other eggs you've seen online will hatch more quickly? In essence, that's what a person is doing when they are constantly changing their mind. An important aspect of self-discipline is the discipline to stick to the specific strategies you've chosen to follow, in order to get the results. If the strategy you're following has been proven to work for other people, as in the case of following popular healthy diets, tested workout plans, personal finance strategies, etc., switching out of it to another one only because you think the other one could be better is nothing but an act of self-sabotage. If you're currently thinking about giving up your current strategy because you're tempted to try something else, remind yourself of the metaphor with the egg. Nobody has ever accomplished anything by constantly destroying the fruits of their labor. If your strategy has been proven to work for many people, dedicate yourself to it for at least a year before you even consider the thought of trying something else.